My name is Renita Blankenship. Good evening. I hope everybody's doing good today. I'm in the master's program at American Public University, Nursing 505, Healthcare Systems and Healthcare Policies. I am going to talk about the policy that I chose that I would like to see instated, which is mental health awareness. The three policies that I had come up with about mental health that I would like to see in the future was mental health awareness, school age programs about mental health, and providing mental health screenings at yearly checkups. I chose to talk about mental health awareness because it pretty much covers all the other ones. The reason why I chose it is mental health itself does not get the attention that it needs. There's a lot of stigma that is attached to mental health, especially in minority groups, church groups. As somebody who suffers from mental health herself with anxiety and depression, and two kids that have ADD and one that has ADHD, I don't think that mental health gets explained enough. And I think that a lot of people are scared to come forward when it comes to their mental health because they don't want to be looked at as if they're crazy. Because a lot of times mental health is subjective, and it's not like, oh, I broke my leg. You can see that my leg is broke. It's something's going on in my brain, and I feel like my brain's not working right. And a lot of times people don't take that seriously. As coming from a household that is considered a minority household, African American, growing up, mental health was something that was overlooked or dismissed, or it's just in your mind. You just need to get over it. But as I got older and my anxiety and depression got worse, I think my parents kind of looked into it and seen that, okay, yes, mental health really is a thing. And I think that, the more that mental health awareness is out there, maybe by holding like mental health clinics like every 6 months or something like that, would really help people to understand mental health, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about mental health and a lot of myth and false statements about people who have mental health. Just because you have a mental health illness does not mean that you are crazy, by no means. And I think that one thing about making people aware of mental health illness is to let them know that anybody can be affected by mental health. It does not matter if you're a nurse, you're a doctor, a lawyer, whoever, black, white, whatever, anybody can be affected by mental health. So I really do feel like that mental health does not get talked about. A lot of time it's overlooked, even in like yearly checkups and visits. I have very rarely ever filled out like a depression form at my yearly checkout. If it wasn't for me telling her that way I felt, I probably wouldn't have been screened for it. And I think when they hold these clinics, they need to give the factual information about it, and then even maybe offer a free screening to some people, because I think that if people can see that anybody can have mental illness, that it's not just, something that only certain people have, I think people are the more aware they are, the more likely they are to receive care and treatment for it. And when we say mental health, there's a wide variety of mental health issues that arise that people don't know about. And a lot of people don't know about the resources. They have hotlines for anybody who's feeling down. And I feel like, people need to be aware of the resources out there for them. So that's kind of why I chose the mental health awareness, because it kind of covers the other two too, because mental health is very important, and I feel like it is treating the patient as a whole by assessing their mental health also. Why why would this be the best choice for healthcare clinics? Um, I think that it'll be a great choice for the clinics because they will be able to educate patients, to ask any the patient's family members can ask any questions that they have maybe about mental health, clear up any misinformation that they may have heard about mental health. Um, I feel like, if as a whole the community itself is more mental health awareness, then I think they will be more willing to encourage their family member to receive the help that they need. Because there's so many people out there that are suffering in silence with mental health because they are scared to come forward because of being talked about or being outcast in the family, which should not be a reason for them not to seek help, because mental health is like any other disease. It can be treated. It can be treated with medication and with non-medication. Um, I feel that the patients, once they are aware of mental illness and that they may have some type of mental illness, I feel like once they're aware of it, they are more likely to come forward to be treated for it, um, and maybe be able to even be diagnosed early so they can get treated before it gets in the late stages and get out of control. I feel like mental health awareness overall increases the patient's healthcare experience. Um, I think it also helps improve the relationship between the healthcare provider and the patient, and it offers trust, because I feel like if the healthcare provider explains to them about the mental health and they feel comfortable talking to them, then they're more willing to share their feelings instead of just keeping them balled up. And when you keep your feelings balled up, that's how people end up with suicides and stuff like that. So I just think that mental health just does not get the attention that it really needs. The next slide. What would be the selling point? One selling point would be it would improve the relationship, like I said, between the patient and the healthcare staff. Because if they have mental awareness clinics, then the patient and then the patient's family will feel like there's a safe place for them to go to talk about what is going on with them. And then you also give them other resources like hotlines and places like that. If they don't feel comfortable talking to you, then they can call the hotline and stuff. I think that it will help improve the patient's visit. Um, they'll be more willing to be truthful about their feelings. If they're feeling down or depressed, or they feel like, they're not able to focus, I think that they'll be more willing to be honest with the doctor. Also, it will help to reduce the stigma that is along with mental health. And so people won't be as scared as being outcasted by their family or church or whatever neighborhood just because they have a mental illness. It can also help to minimize any myths, and the overall healthcare will be improved. I mean, because there's a lot of myths out there about mental health. Because, like I said, from somebody who suffers from mental health herself, I I understand the stigma that people feel behind it. And I think that it would be great if mental health medical clinics could offer like a clinic like every 6 months for mental health awareness, like a week where they go out into the community and offer flyers and, offer, have the psychiatrists out there and the therapists out there to talk to people, because I feel like it's just not talked about enough. And that is about all I have to say. Thank you for listening and have a good day.